guys and girls, the feature you are about to witness is so horrifying that I'd have to warn you beforehand. Nay, if you are prone to throwing up of getting a boner, you should refrain from watching. Also, write a catch for between and in your walls. So, if you're going to complain, you have been warned. I have already dipped, you know, and Peter K is fucking funny. I'll try to and Ruby is awesome.
Shit house of horror. One Halloween night, 3 friends were in their shitty gay treehouse. They were going to tell stories scarier than the haunted fish and chips that schools sold for dinner on Halloween because they couldn't think of any creative names for food. Hennio explained he had a story so spooky that their balls could explode after hearing it. This made baby Mera shit his nappy. He's just like his father, said Fart Head. Fart Head's comment caused Magic Mirror to get pissed, so they started scrapping. Hennio told his story as they were scrapping. Here's a fucking lame story that's called it despite the fact I've not seen the film in 6 years, and it barely stays true to the original film. One Saturday evening, Kitty Jo was driving around running people over with her friends. Fart Head, Shitface and Ditto. They ran over one of the Kardashians. Fart Head asked, why the fuck isn't she screaming in pain? Kitty Jo explained that due to the amount of plastic in her body, she no longer had any nerves and could survive the most fatal attacks. Shitface then pissed out the window and said, I'm Piss Man, the sexiest superhero in the world. I'm fucking starving, yells Fart Head. The gang decided to stop at KFC. The man on the microwave popcorn bags was smoking a fag. By the way, that means cigarette. I wouldn't go in there if I were you, he said. Why, asked Shitface. The gang was shocked by the man's comment. The man then took a breath and sighed. I'm just fucking around. Fart Head got so mad he grabbed the cigarette and stuffed it up his bum. You can have it back later, he replied. The gang sat down at the desk while Fart Head went to order. He went to the counter and said, I would like. Hey Beavis, he said, would. The cashiers started uncontrollably laughing at the word would. It took Fart Head 34 minutes to order the meal. Ditto almost starved to death. Fart Head walked over to the rest of the gang and said, here's our food. Shitface then said, you stupid retard, we almost died because of you taking the bloody piss with ordering. Just as they were about to dig, in Michael Jackson came in and said, he I'll take that. He robbed everyone of their KFC. He ran out the door. Everyone was worried but stayed calm because they knew it would be all okay. Everyone, that is, except for Fart Head. My fucking chicken, he yelled. The boss of that KFC came and confronted everyone. He explained every 27 years a famous celebrity steals KFC and takes it for himself. We were able to stop Elvis just in time. Who knows what god-awful things will happen if we let them get away. Fart Head was so pissed that he threw a table. The table hit Nick Jafanis 2000, killing her instantly. No one gave a fuck because she was a bitch. I need my fucking chicken, yelled Fart Head. He proceeded to run out the building. He got naked and showed his willy to everyone. Meanwhile, Michael Jackson was in his basement, counting all the chicken he had. Yes, I have enough, he explained. He then said, before I go through with my plan, I'll have one last wank. Fart Head was so fucking pissed because he didn't get his chicken. He went on a rampage throughout London, killing anyone in his path. Oh fuck shit Jesus, no, someone help us, screamed a crowd. Fart Head then lifted a bus and started crushing innocent people while chanting, give me my fucking KFC, you skanky bitch-ass retard. Nukes were launched, killing 1,000s more. The rest of the gang went around London, asking anyone if they had seen the man who stole their KFC. Shitface asked a pretty popular family if they had seen them. Piss off, you dirty wank pile. Explained the Queen, we only like rich people. Prince Charles was dressed like a sausage or a penis, or whatever the fuck his poopy gay little costume is supposed to be. Michael Jackson then grabbed an old red crayon and drew the satanic symbol called the Smallicis Dickus and chanted these exact words. Fintha Jedi 1025 is a kid a fiddler, and so is Ridercash 14. Suddenly, the chicken flew around the room, and MJ started transforming into a being of ultimate destruction. MJ then lifted into the sky and used his laser KFC gravy eyes to write the word bum. People were burned by the boiling hot KFC gravy, while others were waiting to dip their chippies into the newly laid gravy. What the fuck is that? Yelled Kitty Jo. "My fucking chicken," yelled Fart Head. He jumped to the sky to grab the flying piece of KFC. Fart Head was so pissed that he threw MJ into the earth. The entire planet exploded, killing everyone who lived there died. All of Fart Head's friends and everyone he knew was dead. But he didn't give a fuck because he got his revenge. Suddenly PSB 5000 came to turn Earth into shit. "Where the fuck is Earth?" said the Willies from Mars. Fart Head had to explain to the fat-ass bunny wanker what had happened. Even PSB 5000 felt bad, because no one deserves their KFC to be stolen. Fart Head then said, "There's only one thing we can do now, and that is..."
It's Stewie's spooky cohort nightmare dance.
That was a shit story, explained Magic Mirror. "You could pull better things out of Mr. Tumble's asshole," added Fart Head. Magic Mirror then said he had a story that he had created years ago, only to get his idea stolen by a popular manga and anime called Death Note. Magic Mirror said that the worst part was that they sued him for Death Note, but actually good and with swag characters. One morning, 3 friends called Creepy, Al and Prince Edward were at the park. They had just finished bullying a dickhead named Jenny Wakeman. They had played a funny prank where they put her inside a bag and sunk her in the lake. Al was bored as fuck. Suddenly some lame fuck-ass book fell from the sky. Creepy went to pick it up. Al refused because he said, "Reading is for retards." Creepy kicked Al in the balls and said, "We're fucking looking inside. It fell from the fucking sky. It could be a fucking bomb for all we know, you stupid little cunt." She handed Prince Edward the book, who opened it to see loads of names of random fuck-ass people they didn't know, plus some cool drawings, including a shitty drawing of Glep from Smiling Friends. Creepy soon realized it was a book that you could write people's names in and they would go deaf. The first name she wrote in it was Lincoln Louds. Lincoln was having a bad day. He had been forced to live on the streets because his family decided to actually be good for once. Creepy wrote in the book, and Lincoln lost all his hearing. People pointed and laughed and made fun of him and called him names like Arse Munch and Pussy Licker. What Creepy didn't know was that 7 minutes after the person's name who is written in the book has gone deaf, they will be killed brutally. Lincoln walked down a street to get away from the teasing. Homer Simpson drove past in his car and shot him and said, "This is for my favorite Mr. Men character, Mr. Drive-By Shooter." Prince Edward used it next. He wrote in Wicked Part 1's name and said, "I fucking hate you, bitch." The poster walked home deaf and scared. It decided to take a short cut through the building site. Suddenly, a crane of bricks dropped and crushed the poster. Bob and Muck were recording and said, "Finally, we can get that 250 quid off. You've been framed." That afternoon, the mayor asked if he could speak to the 3 of them. They all thought they were in trouble and going to get the electric chair. But the mayor asked them if they would like to make killing people a company. He offered to use the old IKEA building for their office. "Fucking finally," said Al. Within 32 seconds, the mayor approved the grand opening, knowing very well he would probably get sacked for this. "I hereby declare this fuck-ass place open," he yelled. The crowd cheered and screamed and shouted offensive slurs. One woman asked for the mayor to show his cock, which he did. He was arrested for his action immediately. As soon as they were opening, a line of people crowded asking for people's names to be written in the Death Note. Silly Bear asked for the person who made him yawn to be written in. Jimmy Pesto asked for Bob, and Bimo asked for any unswag person to die, which meant that after writing that down, their business would be utterly useless. But they didn't know that killing most of the population would have a great impact. Unfortunately, so many people had died that there wasn't enough room in the graveyard, so they had to dump the bodies above ground. And the smell was horrible. It smelt an old people's home shit. There were that many funerals that each one was reduced to 25 seconds. On their way home, they were stopped by Percy Pig. "You fucking assholes," he yelled. "You better bring all those people back to life. Even though we hated them, doesn't mean you could kill them. Who the fuck are we gonna force to do our jobs now?" Creepy realized that Percy Pig had a point, so she told him that she had a really cool idea. She ripped up one of Lincoln Loud's baby photos and wrote a live journal on the back and said, "If we write the word everyone in this book, we can revive everyone who was killed by the book." But they didn't know that by writing everyone in the alive journal, it caused everyone who had ever died to come back. People who had been dead for more than 10 years came back as zombies who liked to destroy cities for no apparent reason. The zombies yelled their favorite catchphrase when they're hungry. "Chicken," they all said. Even Hitler had come back as a zombie. People were scared and shitting themselves. Creepy Al and Prince Edward watched in fear as they watched their city be destroyed. No, yelled Al, he cried as his collection of naked Mr. Bean figures was being melted. Now people would have thought Al collected anime figures, but no, he only collected naked Mr. Bean figures. Creepy looked in despair. What are we going to do now? Prince Edward spoke up and replied, there is one thing we can do, and that is...
It's Stewie's spooky Quahog nightmare dance.
That story was even shitter than the one before it. Henio explained, Farthead then explained it was his turn, and that his story was based on a true story. And it was the scariest of all, the cock snatcher. One night Mr. Bean was walking home from the strip club. He had had such a lovely time looking at fat jobless women's boobies. He was going to wank about it before bed. But then he heard a noise, a rustle from the bushes. Suddenly a blue creature came and grabbed his knob and ripped it off. Mr. Bean was sad because he was really excited to have his lovely wank. The cock snatcher put his new dick inside of a jar, and then stored it away with his other cocks. But what he didn't notice was that the dick he had stolen had been censored. If he had seen, he would have been so fucking pissed. The cock snatcher snuck out again. Homer Simpson was having a bath while admiring his little cock, but he didn't know he was being watched. Homer was sad because he had a very small willy. Marge had left Homer because she blamed him for Bart's death. So Homer now lived alone. The cock snatcher climbed in through the sewage pipes and ripped off Homer's censored penis. The next day, the cock snatcher was in his office, thinking up a plan to heist the biggest knob in all the land. That being the cock of Doggy Don's. The longest and the biggest, and that's what she said. He spent hours just thinking how to have that willy all to himself. He could imagine Doggy Don's willy being mounted on the wall facing his bed, so he could look at it every night before going to bed. So he made sure that night to buy a mounting plaque to put it on. Meanwhile, Doggy Don had just finished having his evening shower and shit. He did this every evening. He grinned as he remembered that lunchtime when Uncle Grandpa had thrown up all over Kanata while she was cleaning the floor. The funniest part was that Uncle Grandpa had stuck his hand down his throat to force it. They still had all their servants working day and night, except Carly the cat because she got rabies, so they put her down. Before going to sleep, Doggy Don read himself the Willy Bum Bum official book, which you can buy off Amazon. He laughed his fucking ass off and even came a little in his bed, making the sheets all sticky. Not again, he sighed as he drifted off to sleep. The cock snatcher crawled in through the open window. He saw Doggy Don's sleeping body. He was careful not to wake his sexy king. He lifted the sheets to see a literal gateway to heaven before his eyes. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He said, Amen. He cried joyful tears as he looked at it. The only reason Ted is in this image is because I can't be bothered to edit him out, especially at 23:27 on Saturday night. Suddenly the cock snatcher coughed. The sound awoke Doggy Don. Oh shit, cried the cock snatcher. Please go back to sleep, my king. He cried. Doggy Don said, I know you. You're the cock snatcher, but if you wanted to see my tiddler, why didn't you just ask? I always show my fireman to people who ask. But then the cock snatcher noticed something. It's fucking censored, he cried. Someone is trying to take away our freedom. Doggy Don thought for a second. Then he said, I know exactly who has censored my massive tittle-tattle, and we're going to pay that bastard a visit. Doggy Don showed the cock snatched away to the king of censorship. Here is the place. They love to take money from people just for saying words like damn. They also like to steal your person information. Welcome to the YouTube headquarters. They spoke to the CEO of YouTube. Please, could you tone down the censorship? Asked Doggy Don nicely. The boss stood up and laughed. Fuck no, he replied. I will censor every little thing I don't like and you can't stop me. I will ask people for their personal information just so I can use it against them. I am unstoppable, and now I'm going to use my censorship button on you. The cock snatcher was pissed, so he launched himself at the CEO. The CEO shot the cock snatcher. I told you nobody can fucking stop me. I will destroy everything fun, until the only videos you can see are shitty RE food reviews and top 10 Paw Patrol Rescue's official channel. Doggy Don was pissed, so he grabbed the gun and the censorship button. Doggy Don did the ultimate censorship. He censored the censor button, but he did not know this would cause a catastrophe. The universe suddenly collapsed due to the fact the censorship button had been censored. Oh shit, they all screamed. Now what the fuck are we gonna do? Asked the cock snatcher. Doggy Don thought, and then he said, there is one thing we can do, and that is...
It's Stewie's spooky Quahog nightmare dance.
Everyone was scared after that story, but then they heard a noise outside, so they all went to investigate. Holy shit, what the fuck is that? Cried Magic Mirror. Nobody had believed in big ugly monsters until now. The scary creature made Baby Mirror wail in fear. Give me my fucking dummy, he cried. Even Henio shat his pants. They all thought they were doomed. But suddenly someone took the mask off and said, it's just me. It was the nice stock image of a man. He explained it was time for their dinner spooky come on chips, and they all laughed like Peppa Pig characters. The motherfucker